You just said goodbye. And now you're replaying the entire conversation in your head, convinced you've managed to offend 3 generations of their family without even mentioning it. Your mind is a full-time cringe detective, picking apart every word and every silence. It's like everyone else was born with the how-to human instruction manual, and your copy is just a greasy napkin with "try not to be weird" scribbled on it. This is the secret world of social anxiety, where asking for extra ketchup feels like a hostage negotiation. If you've ever felt like you're performing a one-person play that nobody asked for, you're not alone. And you may have just entered the Cringe Zone. Welcome to Air 404, Mental Health, Not Sound.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Air 404, Mental Health Not Found. Today, we have entered the Cringe Zone. Welcome. We've all been here. We've all had an extended stay, and we all continue to visit. So what is social anxiety? Why does it affect us so much? And why can we never escape it? Well, let's find out and dig right in. I used to lie awake at night, scrolling through my day's conversations like a doomed social media curated by my worst enemy, me. Did my laugh sound less like a joyful chuckle and more like a goose being startled? Was my detailed monologue about my cat's newfound love for cardboard boxes a conversational dead end? I once spent an entire evening composing a 3-word text to a new acquaintance, only to delete it and throw my phone across the room. Social anxiety isn't just being shy. It's a 24/7 job as your own personal disaster forecaster, and you are chronically overcaffeinated. Psychologists actually have a term for this: post-event processing. And this is just a fancy way of saying your brain turns a casual chat about the weather into a Supreme Court hearing where you are the only one on trial, and the verdict is always guilty of extreme awkwardness. The sick joke is, the more you replay your fumbles, the more certain you are that everyone has a dedicated file in their brain about you that's labeled "that weird thing you said in 2017. But they don't. They're too busy obsessing about their own cringy moments. We're all just walking around convinced we're the only weirdo in the room. Every party you skip, every coffee date you rain check, every text you leave unread is another brick in the Great Wall of you. After a while, the wall starts to look less like a temporary fence and more like a medieval fortress complete with a moat full of tears. It's not just a feeling. Research shows that social anxious adults have significantly fewer close friendships. This doesn't mean you have 0 friends, it just means your support system is really thin. Painfully thin. Like single-ply toilet paper in a crisis thin. So, when life does what it does, throws a layoff, a breakup, or just a soul-crushing Tuesday your way, there are fewer people to catch you. This isn't just about big moments. It's the joke you swallow, the question you choke on, the compliment you muffle because you're worried your face is doing something bizarre on Zoom. Each one of these feels like nothing, but they add up, creating a life that, from the outside, looks like a deliberate choice for solitude. In reality, you didn't choose to be alone. You just chose safety of not having to talk to anyone. But what's the price of all of that safety? So before we can really get into how to deal with social anxiety and how to learn to live with it, first, we have to understand what it is and why your brain does this. Now, your amygdala, the almond-shaped bouncer in your brain's nightclub, is a total drama queen. It reacts to a mild disagreement about pineapple on pizza with the same panic that it would a velociraptor attack. Your heart pounds, your palms get sweaty, your stomach plummets. It's the classic fight or flight response. Except the only thing you're fighting is the urge to hide in the bathroom at your own party. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the logical, responsible part of your brain, has apparently clocked out for the day, so you overcompensate. You rehearse conversations in the shower, you script witty remarks that you're never going to say, and then in the actual moment, you freeze up to avoid saying the wrong thing. This, hilariously, makes you look bored or standoffish, and the other person, getting nothing back, politely excuses themselves, confirming your brain's dumbest suspicion: I knew it. I am fundamentally unlikable. You didn't give them a reason to dislike you, you just gave them absolutely no material to work with. It's a vicious, self-fulfilling prophecy. Fear leads to avoidance, which brings relief, which causes loneliness, which makes the fear even bigger. So here's the thing that started to dismantle that fortress for me. I stopped trying to be calm. And I started to be a detective. Seriously, curiosity is a secret weapon because it yanks the spotlight off you and shines it on the person you're talking to. The internal monologue shifts from, oh God, what do they think of me? Am I being too much? To, I wonder what their deal is. One genuine question can stop the anxiety train on its tracks. The first time I tried this was at a work function. I was dying inside, and I saw a coworker had a bunch of weird stickers on their laptop. Instead of my usual hide and sip strategy, I asked her about them. 20 minutes later, I learned she runs a secret Etsy shop for miniature clay gargoyles and once won a hot dog eating contest, which, if you know her, is not really a surprise. We became fast friends, not because I was charming or smooth, but because I was interested. Curiosity gives your anxious brain a new and better job than being your own personal troll. So how do we learn to work with this? Well, you need to build a personal toolkit. So let's get practical. Technique number 1 is the 3-second meltdown stopper. The second you feel a spiral start, the heart hammering, the frantic search for an exit, count down from 3. 3, 2, 1. Then, ask a question. Any open-ended question about the other person. What's the weirdest thing you've eaten today? How do you know our hosts? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to steal their dog? The countdown short circuits the freeze response, and the question forces your brain to think about something other than your own impending social doom. Do it. Do it badly. Stumble over the words. But remember, curiosity is better than charisma. Technique number 2, name the weirdness, but make it casual. This isn't a therapy session, it's just lowering the stakes. I'll say things like, hey, fair warning, I get weirdly passionate about Doctor Who when I'm nervous. Or, just so you know, I haven't spoken to an actual adult in about 3 days, so this might be a little bit rusty. It's disarming and human. 9 times out of 10, the other person will laugh and confess their own social quirk. Anxiety hates having a friend in the room. Shared vulnerability makes it dissolve like a bath bomb. And technique number 3, the 5-minute debrief. After a social thing, your brain wants to spend the next 8 hours picking it apart. So don't let it. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Write down one thing that went well and one thing that you learned. When the timer goes off, you're done. No more obsessing. This satisfies your brain's need to process, but stops the all-night cringe fest. Research shows that this can slash rumination by a huge amount. You get the lesson without the self-flagellation. All right, so I'd like to take a minute to pause here. If any of this sounds like it might actually work for you, I have made a free 1-page cheat sheet for you. It has these 3 techniques plus 5 conversation starters that are guaranteed to not make you sound like a robot conducting an interview. The link is going to be in the descriptions. So grab it, try one, and then come back and tell me which one felt the least horrifying to use. In the comments, I'd love to be able to read them all, and I will pin the funniest one to the top. So for anyone who has tuned into my channel before, you know that one of my favorite things to do is blow up some myths about mental health. So let's debunk some of the lies that your anxiety tells you. Myth number 1. If you pause to think, people will assume your brain just crashed. Reality is, a thoughtful pause makes you look confident. It's the people who talk a million miles a minute who often seem anxious. Taking a breath isn't a weakness, it's a power move, and you should use it. Myth number 2. Everyone noticed you blushed, or stuttered, or spilled on your shirt. The reality? Most people are the main character in their own movie. They're far too busy worrying if their own fly is down or if they have spinach in their teeth to notice your tiny stumble. Myth number 3. You need massive self-esteem before you can think about talking to people. The reality is, that's completely backwards. Connection builds self-esteem. Every small chat, every shared joke, every moment of genuine interest is like a deposit in your, I'm not a total weirdo, bank account. Treat social skills like lifting weights. You don't start by bench pressing a car. You start with those, little pink dumbbells. Your gym is the grocery store, the checkout line, the awkward elevator ride, the coffee shop. Start there and start small. So where does social anxiety hit us the hardest? Well, probably in friendships and dating. In friendships, your social anxiety makes you a terrible events manager. You say yes to things you dread, like a Tuesday night open mic poetry slam, and then you cancel at the last minute because the sheer panic is just too overwhelming. It is kinder to everyone, including you, to set tiny boundaries early. I'm not great in big crowds, but I'd love to grab coffee one-on-one, or I can only stay for about an hour, but I am excited to come. Boundaries don't push people away, they let you know how to successfully be friends with you. In dating, this is all turned up to 11. Dating apps make rejection feel constant and personal. So, treat every interaction as a practice, not a prophecy. Your goal isn't one perfect message to your soulmate, it's 10 low-stakes hello a week. Research found that the sheer volume of practice, not the quality of a single attempt, is what helps people kick social anxiety. It's a numbers game. Quantity over quality at first, because you're building a muscle. And finally, we have all of those public moments. Oh, group settings where your anxiety feels like it's being judged by a whole panel of Olympic scorekeepers. To survive, give yourself a small, specific job. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to ask one person where they got their cool shoes, or be the person who refills the chip bowl, or take one good picture of the group. Having a task gives you a reason to be there and interact that doesn't involve being the life of the party. And when you have to speak up, like in a meeting, use the headline rule. State your point in one quick sentence first, like, I think the deadline is too optimistic. Then pause. This makes you look decisive. If people want more info, they'll ask, and you've already bought yourself a moment to breathe. So let's be totally honest about social anxiety. It's a bitch. You can't get rid of nerves entirely, they just mean you're a living, breathing human being. But you can absolutely fire them from their position of CEO in your life. Every single time you choose to ask the question, send the imperfect text, or stay at the party for just 5 more minutes, you're voting for a version of yourself who deserves to be there. Social anxiety screams that the price of showing up is humiliation. The real painful truth is that the price of hiding is a deep, aching loneliness. So, start small. Be a detective, and remember, the goal isn't to become a smooth, flawless public speaker. The goal is to find your people. The ones who make you forget you were ever scared in the first place. I'm still awkward. I still get nervous. But I have friends who love me for it. And you will too. Now, get out there. Your next conversation might just change everything. And remember, life is just a movie. And our minds, well, they're the twists we never saw coming. Bye.
Picture, if you will, a human being trapped in a world of awkward pauses, misread texts, and the eternal echo of, did I just say the wrong thing? They wander through crowded rooms, yet feel utterly alone. They rehearse every word, and still cringe at the replay in their minds. But take comfort, dear traveler, for you are not the only visitor here. Every glance, every stumble, every midnight what if has been experienced by countless others 1,000 times over. You are not broken, dear traveler. You are simply passing through the Cringe Zone.